Greetings to you, wherever you are in this beautiful, wild, and wide world. Welcome to another episode of our conversations about emotional well being, about the topics that every one of us deals with on a daily basis. And sometimes these concepts are so big or so detailed that are difficult to comprehend or utilize in the ways that we would like to get the most out of them. And I believe one of these most important subjects that needs our attention is love. Love is something that we all need, something that we all have, something that we all can give, something that we all can be connected with. And why is it complicated? Because it's such an ambiguous concept. It's abstract, yet very meaningful. So between the meaning and the abstraction, there are so many different definitions that require a better and deeper understanding of what it means and how it relates to us in our day-to-day life basis, and how it impacts our relationship, how it impacts our comfort and inner joy. So, in order to have a good understanding of it, let's look at love as a spectrum. Let's look at love at the center of it would be something that we've been continuously discussing in every time that we have had these conversations: oneness, where we are all coming from the same source, where our energetic uh, diagram is the same resonation or the same vibration that exists in the whole universe, and how we are each connected to the same algorithm, how we are all part of the same way of being in this world, which is just energy. And then how this energy consists of a light part and a dark part. Because if we look at the essence of being one, being light, being just love and joy, then when we are separated, when we are not connected directly to that source, then the division starts. Then the darkness comes in, and then lack of love, or lack of that connection or that divinity starts to come in order to understand such divinity or such power of understanding. If we look into ourselves, we can connect with that in a whole different way. Because if we are part of the same algorithm, then that algorithm exists in us. And through our practices of going deeper inside of ourselves and being connected with that inner love, inner joy, inner peace, we're able to manifest more of that and shine like our resource, our way of original vibration. So love is a vibration in that definition. Love is a vibration of us in a unique way, which is aligned, which is content, which is in the same direction as our essence is. But then now, when we come further down into this understanding of ourselves, there are a lot of questions that are coming. Well, let's discuss one of these poets who has taught us a lot about love. He has Rumi has talked about love in many different ways, in many different poems. And I have picked a short video from Rumi's narration uh, about love, about how this oneness, how this universal being is connecting with us. Uh, I guess I'm hearing from my source that the video is not ready. So because it's not ready, I guess we're going to delay that, and I'm going to continue with the topic of love without that video yet. But I'm sure whenever that video is ready, we can do it. Meanwhile, let's just stay with the subject of oneness and how this oneness is the love inside of us as an energy. So, when this energy is divided in human beings, in us as collective forces of this energy, but now each one of us has our own characters. each one of us has our own qualifications and understandings, our genetic backgrounds, and how this new entity, which is a person who's born in a certain family, certain environments, and certain understandings and principles, grows into an individual, how this love manifests inside of this person, and how this person resonates this love towards self and others. Well, let's start with the resonation about others first, and then we go deeper within ourselves. So, the resonation of love with others shows in the ways that we are conducting ourselves, in the ways that we connect, in the way that we communicate, in the ways that we are associating or we are in relationship with others. Love has been a very, very old way of showing up in those relationships. We have Romeo and Juliet, and uh, in my culture, the Persian culture, Layli and Majnun, and in every culture we have these love stories that are sometimes dark, sometimes sweet, or both of them, and how this human love, which aspires towards that divinity, but yet now it's in the need of this person to be connected, to be understood, to be cared for, to be attended to. There are so many different emotions and feelings that are associated with this human love in the way that we are seeing ourselves in relationship with others or even things around us. We hear often, I love this food and I love that music and I love this. So we utilize the word love in a way that we're describing our connection with something or someone. So, and this connection is sometimes based upon our needs, because my physiological needs or my biological needs require a certain uh, format of understanding this energy and the source of it that creates the uh, connections that we understand from love. Sorry about the sound of the music. When you work from your home, these are the things that happen, no matter how much we try to manage things, still, because we're limited in this time of coronavirus to our corners. So, from my corner, I apologize that I couldn't manage the sound of the phone better. So, uh, going back to our conversation, love. Love is shown in many different ways and in different concepts of how we are relating with someone. So in this relational aspect of love, we are one being in touch or in charge of our being with other units or other sources. And then how this neediness stimulates certain neurotransmitters in our minds, how the chemicals in our brain and in our body are affected by this kind of a love or this kind of a affection or even attention to something. So that need becomes some sort of a requirement for stimulation, for my heart to pound faster, so my physiological joy or pleasure, actually in this sense, gets higher. So when my pleasures are more attended to, then the love that we're talking about from the source of love becomes less, becomes actually more material and more physical than the divinity or the divine love or the truth that we were talking about. So when we are getting to our human essence, we see that because of our human needs, because of our ways of uh, living or the lifestyles that we have, this love can change its face or its base or its intention to some sort of a neediness or some sort of a, even addiction. So basically this addiction then becomes some way of uh, neediness that we need to fulfill, and this fulfillment now requires a certain action, and this action becomes some sort of a dependence or codependence, which we can see in many relationships, that I cannot exist without somebody else's being satisfied with me. I see my values through the values of others, that values that others are giving me, and not my own values. How I'm not very confident about what values I bring to a relationship, and how the other person is not necessarily evaluating or judging my values, and it's me who is poorly judging myself or not seeing myself as lovable or deserving of love. Which brings us to more of a self-love. And this self-love is something that is at the focus of our well-being. If I do not love myself, how can I love someone else? If I'm not giving myself the care that I deserve, and instead I'm caring for others in a way that they approve of me, how do I really show respect to myself or to our relationship? You see, love is as a vibration which exists inside of us, has no judgment. It's just being aligned and being together in a harmonious way. So the moment that there is a judgment in it, the moment that there is a disconnection in that joint or continuous vibration of our energies towards each other, then I become me and you become you. Then if we're selfish now, we cannot respond in love, which is the opposite of self-love. Self-love has nothing to do with selfishness. Some people think if I love myself, this love for myself is going to cost other people something. If your self-love costing others something, that's not self-love. That's selfishness, because self-love only exists when I'm not taking away from other people's right to provide for myself. Yet, if I have my boundaries, I know within my boundaries what is it that is my right, and what is it that I can negotiate for and adhere to that self-love, which is within the certain boundaries that I have created for myself, to give myself that love, to give myself the attention that I deserve. And then again, in each program, we've been talking about the requirements for connecting to ourselves. And I've been talking about those 8 spokes of the wheel of well-being, which is our physical, mental, emotional, relational, recreational, environmental, spiritual, and financial. And in all of these 8 areas, we continuously, on a daily basis, we need to practice to get to that love. Okay? Because the balance that we're talking about, the core of this wheel, is where we can experience that universal love or a universal vibration. There is no pressure, there is no stress, there is nothing, sorry, there is nothing that is accidentful day. Uh, there is no limitation to this love if we can go inside and be in that balance and create the kind of environment for ourselves that is deserving our self to ourselves, that we are allowing ourselves to be connected within. So the connection of love starts from that universal presence and being to the place that we are today in our lives, in our relationships, and how we relate with people around us, and even with objects and nature around us. Because love cannot just be towards a human being. Love is towards life. Love is our attention or attribute towards how our life is on this planet. When we come from love, then there is no difference between us as the color or the race or the gender or the way that I speak or the way that you see me. We're all in this loving relationship. In my book, Balancing the Wheel, I describe love as the difference between death and life. Okay, when we come to this world, when we come from joy, our connection is through love. And when we die, it doesn't mean that we're finished. It doesn't mean that we are done. If we're believing in us as energy forms, then this energy of love is not going to go anywhere. It's infinite, it's always there. And from this energy of love is where we can connect to everything else. So when our flesh and blood gets in the way of this relationship with our life and with the universe, then that selfishness comes in. But if it is just in the purpose of giving us enough space to be able to practice this love, that is where self-love is. So my practice of self-love requires a boundary that is not disturbing others, yet it's providing me the most secure, the most comfortable, the most serene and peaceful place of connecting. That's why when we meditate, that's why when we're in that pure love energy of connection, our prayers, our thoughts, our energies are going higher. If I want to bring this back to relationships, I would like to go to the languages of love, which Gary Chapman, who's an author, who's written a very short and sweet book called The Five Love Languages. And in this book, he's talking about the human need for certain type of connection, certain type of understanding of this love. And if we do not practice this, or we do not understand what our partners, our spouses, our girlfriends or boyfriends are needing or are wired without that understanding of the wirings, the feeling or the experience of love is not going to be as connected or as deep as we want. So you may ask, what are these five languages? Number one is words of affirmation. Okay, what does that mean? It means that we can say, I love you, but only when we really mean it, not just saying it because you want to fool someone, you want to get something, you want to achieve some goal. So these words of affirmation are purely coming from you because you appreciate someone, you appreciate something. That's when those words of affirmation are helpful and you can utilize them. And then your partner likes to hear that, those words of affirmation, that they're cared for, that they're seen, that they're appreciated, that they're valued, that they're connected with. Okay, so that's the first step, or one of the five languages that some people may connect with better than other languages. The second one is spending time, or giving ourselves the time to be with someone, showing them that they deserve the time that we're giving them. It's the quality of time and not the quantity, because you can be with someone every day, but the connection is not there. So the quality of time that you spend with someone is how you can be with this person doing something, paying attention to a common thing. Even watching TV could be spending quality time with each other, a short walk, or just a conversation that is authentic and heartfelt. So that's the second way that people connect, through seeing that you are giving them the time that they deserve or they need, and you do the same thing for yourself. And now the third part of this is our receiving gifts. Okay, because when we receive gifts, we feel valuable. Okay, you may think of this as very material, But gifts do not have to be material necessarily. A gift could be just, a poem, or it could be just just one flower that's given, or could be a paper that you have decorated or seen. It really is not about the value of what giving. It's about somebody getting something from you because it's coming from you, and they see that this is given to you. So within this context, when this gift is exchanged, there is some sort of a understanding of values that are given to each other. The next one is act of service. And some people are just wired in a way that they like to know that somebody else is there for them in a productive way, in a proactive way, and they're willing to give them their action, the way that they do things. For example, if I go to my own uh, case, the concept of doing something, my lovable wife, she likes for me to be really doing something, even if it's cleaning the house, or doing the dishes, which is, it just shows her that I care, shows her that I love her. So that action that I take, it could be in the services of love. And then the last one is our physical touch. Some people are really touchy. That if if they feel touch is going to be very valuable. Now think about it in this time of the coronavirus, and people who live alone and they don't have somebody around them to to touch them, or to touch someone. How hard that could be for somebody whose love language is touch. That's going to be devastating, that there is no one there to put an arm around you, or you can put an arm around someone. That is another language of love that we speak. I think our YouTube clip is ready. I think we only have time to watch this one. I had planned a couple of other things for you, but we're just going to take a look at this short video and discuss it a little bit more before we end the program. I hope that's ready. Our director, please go to our video of Rumi's meaning of love. Are we ready?
Devant les accusateurs, je vois le courage, la peur des inquisiteurs, de prendre de l'âge, spectacle provocateur, ce décalage. L'amour nous aurait porté à lui seul ce craquage. Brigitte, I love you, I love you, I love you, need you. Brigitte, I love you. Au bout de mes convictions, sans réflexion, devant leur morale, à l'amour je donne raison. Les bien-pensants consentent le contraire. Toi ils te réduisent, t'es belle mais t'es qu'éphémère. Brigitte, I love you, I love you, I love you, need you.
Well, unfortunately, it wasn't the video that I was hoping. I guess I'm going to do this program one more time about love, and we're going to start from that video next time. Unfortunately, we had a lot of technical difficulties today, and uh, we were not able to do it the way that we were hoping you can enjoy it. I hope that from what you've heard, it's been enough for you to understand a little bit more deeper on the concept of love and how this love is given and how we're sharing this love with each other. If you would like to learn more about the concept of love and how we can be self-loving, how we can take care of ourselves, you go to willowwellbeing.com and you can take the quiz there, which is called the Will Quiz. And when you take this quiz, you really understand how much you love yourself. Because if you're not applying these 8 elements in a way that is balanced, in a way that you are uh, in harmony in every way of your being, if your internal and external habits in life are balanced with each other, connecting with love. I'm hoping that you can there. If you become a member of our Wheel Select, which is a membership only part on this website, then you can receive free books, and you get my book, Balancing the Wheel, audio book with many exercises. You will be receiving Coach Bonnie's book about self-love. She has a beautiful book about self-love that it's going to be yours for free. You can really enjoy this material. If you have any more questions or concerns about these concepts, about understanding how this balance works in our life and how this relates to self-love, you can join me on my Facebook page, Dr. Daniel Sadiq, or you can email me directly at drdsadigh@gmail.com. I'm glad to be here with you a few times a week and bring you these programs. I'm sure you understand that it's not so easy to do this from home, but then we're doing the best that we can, and we hope that you are taking whatever that is meaningful to you out of this. I give you love and I give you a lot of attention and my sincere respect. Hoping to talk to you further on Wednesday about what was not discussed today. We're going to continue with this conversation on Wednesday about love. Thank you so much for being there with us today.
Do you have viruses or malware warnings? Have a problem with your computer and need help? 24 hours, 7 days. Computer Emergency Services. Convenience and savings at your fingertips. Download our free app and keep in touch.
At Hello Hollywood, we bring you the best in entertainment, fashion, movies, hit music, gossip, and live from the red carpet reporting.